When this WRX arrived on a trailer many months ago, it was dirty, had a bit of body damage, smoked, and had several warning lights. After some cleaning and trying to fix the engine, a new short block was needed to fix the source of the issues it was having. Now, there are only a few hurdles to get over to make it a reliable and fun daily driver. And in this video, I try to address them. The main issue was a bad catalytic converter, and I scored one from eBay for about half price of the cost of one new from the dealership. But I also got a new TGV actuator. The one that is on the car works fine, but it has a broken electrical connector. The first replacement didn't seem to work. It goes right there, and hopefully this will be quick. It's funny, the connector that doesn't latch properly actually stayed on pretty good. Had to use a bit of force just to get it off. I'm gonna remove this bracket just for easier access. I know you can't see it, but I just used a little 1/4-inch ratchet with a 10mm socket on there to get the bottom bolt. I'm gonna do the same thing for the top bolt. I know it's hard to see, but all I did was replace one TGV actuator for another. It's just held on with 2 bolts that you can remove with a 10mm socket. This is what they look like when they're not installed. All right, that's the top bolt, and it is out. Reminder, it's broken. And you know what? I think this might have had something to do with why it didn't work, because the gasket stayed on, and both of the new ones I had a gasket with it. Maybe, I don't know. Now I'm just tightening down the bolts. I'll know pretty quickly based on the sound when I put the key in the ignition if the new one is working. I think it's working. All right, so I'm gonna put everything back together. So I'm gonna take off this old beat up spent cat, put the new one on. I'm not gonna bore you with it. Same process. Remove the skid plate, unbolt it from the cat back and the turbo, swap out the pre and post oxygen sensors, and reinstall a new one. Out of carelessness and impatience, because I'm eager to get this on, rounded off the nuts. I didn't care that it stuck to the stud because it still did its job. So I was down one fastener. But look what I had in my drawer. A stud that will work. And of course, a matching nut. I think that will do. With the new cat installed, all I needed to do was drive it to see if the code was gone. And thankfully it was. All the OBD2 tests ran except for the evaporative emissions check. It still hasn't completed, but so far it's looking really good. And I feel like I'm a decade behind with technology, but this new radio I installed is fantastic. Having a large map and access to my podcast is great. The link to it and the scan tool I used are both in the description. I was feeling really good about the progress I'd made on the WRX, and I really enjoyed driving it. But the coldest day of the year dictated what I was going to do next. Unexpected work a late night on the WRX. I had to pull it back in the garage because it's going to get down to the teens tonight, and I still don't have antifreeze in it. I'm only running distilled water to make sure I don't have any leaks. But thankfully, it's been, I don't know, several hundred miles, and I have no coolant leaks. So I'm going to drain it tonight and put antifreeze in it. Maybe I'll just drain it tonight. But anyway, the water has to come out because if it gets too cold, I could have some issues. Should have already drained the fluid. What are you? Are you stupid? You should have already drained the fluid. What are you? Are you stupid? You should have put the coolant in better. Because you're messing up your car with this weather. All right, it's come to a drip, which is good enough. And I noticed an oil leak, but it does not go above the topmost oil control valve. So I think that the seal from the oil control valve is leaking. I don't know if you can see the wetness there, but it starts below the other oil control valve. And I'm glad, because I would hate for it to be something more difficult to get to. All of this is dry, and the wetness starts about right here. If I put my hands below this, I get oil on it. So I think that this seal, it's just not doing its job any longer. So maybe I'll replace the seal on that. I'm so glad it's not one of the head parts. I'm hoping this will be a very quick fix. I believe I have traced the oil leak, well, to this oil control valve because nothing above it has oil on it. So I'm going to replace the O-ring on that one. I went to Subaru and got a new O-ring yesterday. Actually, I got a few. Squeeze this tab. This connector should come right off. Take off these bolts with 10mm heads. And this is the same way you'd replace one if you had one that was throwing a code. I did a video on that a few videos ago. Should come right out. There we go. The hallmarks of a failed O-ring would be that it is no longer round. And this one has taken on a square shape. See how if you slice it, the cross section will be more of a rectangle than a circle? And here is a brand new one from Subaru. And oh wow, it even looks bigger. It will do a much better job of sealing than this one was doing. So I'm gonna wipe this down, install this, and go for a drive. Now they also have this little plastic or phenolic, whatever, little other ring. I did not replace it because it looked okay. But I do have one just in case. Yeah, the dealership says, yeah, we don't usually replace those. It's usually just the O-rings that fail. That is definitely going to seal better. And after the drive I'm going on, I'll definitely know if it still leaks. I will take some of this oil and coat the new O-ring with it, just so it goes in nicely. All right. There we go. Start the bolts. If you're the torque wrench police, these are probably right around 7 or 8 foot-pounds, maybe even less than that. So it doesn't take much. I kind of have a feel for it. All right, reconnect this. And now wipe off any traces of oil I see so that when I go for a drive, I'll know if it's new or old. Also, there's a camshaft position sensor like this down below. There's a seal right in here that could also fail. It's another O-ring type seal. That could also be leaking. But since I had oil up top, this was the first thing I checked. So I'm going to go for a drive and see if I have any more oil. Good news. I am pretty sure I have fixed the oil leak because there is nothing coming down below. I don't know if you can see the intake tube there. There was oil getting to that and there is none. There's a better look at it. Everything is dry. So that's good. I'm not seeing any leaks under here actually. After I got it together, the smoking was just from the stuff I had spilled while I was putting it together. So that is good news. So I've driven this thing several hundred miles and there is still one emissions test that is not done yet. I've been using it as my daily and I'm reasonably confident that the mechanical issues are all sorted. In the meantime, I'll keep checking the evap monitor and wait for a warm day so that I can give it its first wash and address some other cosmetic issues. If you'd like to follow along, hit subscribe. If you'd like to see how I got it to this point, check out the playlist. Thanks for watching. Take care.